Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you today at Voice Global. And many thanks to the Voice Global team for putting on such a fantastic virtual gathering. It's amazing, right? And thank you, too, for being here with me right now.
We all love fun and games, right? It's how we connect. It's how we learn. And it turns out it's also how we can best monetize content. I'm Melinda Wittstock, serial entrepreneur, podcaster, and the CEO and founder of the world's first socially interactive and gamified podcasting network, Podopolo. Today, I'm going to share some ninja hacks for how to grow, engage, and understand your audience through gamification. Gamification is the craft of applying all the fun and engaging quality of games to real-world or non-gaming activities. Think for a moment how easy it is to get addicted to games like Angry Birds or Candy Crush. Think about what drives you when you play a game. What makes it fun? Some games push us to achievement and learning in an inspiring and motivating way. Others play on our fears or insecurities. Games remember that people have feelings, insecurities, and reasons why they choose to take action or not, and then they optimize those actions to motivate and engage. There is so much that podcasters can learn from applying game theory to growing and engaging a loyal and active audience.
I believe every podcaster has a magnetic million-dollar message. I also know your message will be lost without finding and engaging your true tribe. Podcasting is the most intimate way to connect meaningfully with your true tribe and build invaluable know-like trust with your community and the people you want to call your customers. And when we leverage gamification to reward and recognize your listeners and viewers, magic happens. Today, I'm sharing my 8 motivators that drive community engagement and viral growth. Motivators I've proven with my previous apps and on my own podcast, Wings of Inspired Business, named by Entrepreneur Magazine as one of its top 20 business podcasts for 2020. I built the audience there the hard way, before an app like Podopolo existed to gamify engagement for me. I used contests, polls, crowdsourced content, and much more. And I've made sure to reward and recognize my listeners along the way. Everything I learned about the challenges of podcasting, being discovered, engaging listeners and viewers, and monetizing content drove the innovation that is Podopolo. On Podopolo, listeners and viewers discover and share new favorite podcasts. They interact with hosts and each other, and unlock a growing number of rewards, from virtual high fives to cool freebie products and services, as they connect and engage around content, as they put learning into action to enhance and transform their lives, and as they engage in world-changing, mission-driven initiatives to improve our world. Today, I'm going to share with you the underlying behavioral psychology behind our innovation and the specific ways you can leverage gamification to grow, engage, and reward your tribe. When you think of what motivates people to engage with content, it could be any one of a number of things. Sounding smart or funny at the water cooler, or these days, Zoom. Putting learning into action to make more money, get that perfect body, or improve a relationship. Having a good laugh or escaping into a fictional world. Feeling part of a mission bigger than ourselves. Connecting with others who share our interests and circumstance. Or maybe something else. Studies across multiple industries like health, education, travel, and media show that gamification grows revenue and profits an average of 30% higher because it makes customers and communities feel special, rewarded, recognized, loyal, and invested. So, what are the magic 8 motivators? There are core 8 drivers that motivate and incentivize people to take action. Let's go through them. Number 1, meaning and calling. Many of us are called to a mission we feel is greater than ourselves. We often, too, feel called or chosen to do something. You see this in fandom communities where there's always a volunteer who builds and maintains a Wikipedia page or consistently moderates a forum for an entire community. It feels good to be a hero to others, to be the go-giver, appreciated by many. Every podcaster has a raving fan or three that feels called to build a community around your content. Finding and rewarding these super users is a wonderfully fast and rewarding way to build a community. Most podcasters have a reason they podcast, a mission, an impact, a transformation they want to see in the world. So if we apply meaning and calling to a podcast, it helps to have a mission bigger than you or your business, so you can attract and engage people around a transformational cause or a calling. Find ways to engage people in that mission with social impact initiatives, collaborative giving, donation campaigns, and more. Right now, Podopolo is engaging people in random acts of kindness quests during coronavirus. Whether thanking frontline essential workers with special gifts or volunteering to deliver groceries to elderly people. Engage your most avid fans, put them in charge of organizing mission-driven quests and contests, and recognize them publicly on social media and your website for their efforts. You are also providing incalculable value to your community when you connect them with each other in a collective challenge that enables measurable impact on the world. Number 2. Accomplishment. We all like to track our progress towards meaningful goals in our lives. It feels good to accomplish and master new skills and put your intentions into action and hit milestones along the way. People like to make progress, develop skills, overcome challenges. The word challenge here is a vital part of the mix, as a badge or a trophy without a challenge is not meaningful. You may recognize accomplishment drivers on apps you use, status points, badges, achievement symbols, progress bars, leaderboards, and podiums. Motivating your audience to achieve their goals starts with understanding what actually motivates them. What's their context or circumstance? What do they do? What are their goals? What do they most want to achieve? What is it they need most? What keeps them awake at 3 a.m.? Find ways to engage them in conversation on social media and ask them. Incentivize them to share their goals. Reward and recognize them for sharing, and then use your podcast to share the knowledge they seek. Find ways to help them track their progress. Empower them to take action. Encourage your community to give each other high fives for reaching milestones, and gift them with virtual and real rewards when they do. You will genuinely be making them feel special and invested in your community. They'll share the love and bring more people like them into your community. Number 3, social influence. On social media, it feels good to get likes and hearts and all the validation of friends. We all seek mentorship, validation, companionship, acceptance. We all want to belong. We can also be driven by competitiveness and envy, what I call comparisonitis. When you see a friend who achieves something inspiring, has mastered a skill, or has created something extraordinary, you may be motivated to reach the same level. We're also driven to be included in activities that connect us more closely to people, places, or events we can relate to. If a product reminds you of your childhood, the nostalgia may increase the odds you buy that product. Most companies put a high premium on optimizing these social and community drivers. How can you use your podcast to connect people around shared interests? Bind them in a common mission. One way is conversation. I believe the best content connects people in conversation. A podcast needn't be a one-to-many broadcast. Find creative ways to interact with your listeners and viewers, involve them in the dialogue, and keep the conversation going. You may want to choose to create conversation starter calls to action on your podcast, asking people to join you in conversation about the episode, on social media, a Facebook Live, or a Zoom video call. Think of it as a book club or a fandom conversation. People can discuss what they liked best, what they learned, how they're putting a lesson into action, and then share the love by providing virtual or real rewards. And then there's this. Imagine for a moment what would happen if a mega influencer in your space suddenly recommended you to 100,000 plus followers on Instagram. It would be a game changer, right? So recruit the biggest influencers in your space, because with your podcast and your growing and engaged community, you can provide them with a reciprocal platform to highlight their mission and business. They'll return the favor by amplifying your message and attract growing numbers of subscribers. You can gamify this too by creating a contest or quest and rewarding a listener or viewer with a freebie from the influencer. When you do this, everybody wins. Number 4, creative empowerment. We all love to be creative, and all the more so when our creativity is rewarded. Creative processes where we unlock milestones and get positive feedback for our efforts as we try and figure out something is mesmerizingly addictive. We all desire to express our creativity, and we all love to see the impact of our creativity, get feedback from others, and respond in turn. It's because it's empowering. Podcasters have an opportunity to spark self-driving evergreen activity, whether crowdsourcing ideas, guests, or topics to involve your community in content creation, or engaging them in ways to put what they've learned into action in their lives, with feedback, reward, and recognition for their activity. So what are some of the ways you can co-create with your community? Crowdsource. Include your community in as many aspects of content creation as you can. They'll be flattered, invested, and you'll have lasting and loyal fans. Ask them for guest and topic suggestions. Ask them what questions they want you to ask an upcoming guest. Test out new segment ideas. Ask for their feedback on your artwork or your music. You can take it further by getting your community to vote on ideas they like best and reward the winners. The reward can be mentioning them on your podcast, or better yet, asking them to voice or video record their question and including them on air on your podcast. On Podopolo, we have functionality that allows people to leave audio comments. And when they do, podcasters can take those audio comments and include that on their air. Your guests will be sure to share your episode with their friends and get even more engaged with you. Number 5, ownership and possession. Who doesn't love a freebie or a prize? It feels good to accumulate rewards, redeemable points, add to a collection. Many people are motivated by a sense of ownership. And when we're invested in something, we tend to want to make what we own better and accumulate more of what we've already invested in. Whether we're accumulating wealth, baseball cards, stamps, antiques, or virtual goods, points, even currencies within apps, we tend to put more time and attention to things we own. So enable your audience to have a sense of real ownership in your content by enabling them to collect what's valuable to them. As a podcaster, one way to give your community a sense of ownership is to include them in the creation, development, or sharing of the content. Another is to reward them with an ownership status based on their levels of contribution. Even a chance to invest in it monetarily via a tip jar to unlock other benefits. Many podcasters leverage a platform like Patreon for this. Number 6, unpredictability and curiosity. We all want to know what happens next, and we're delighted by unexpected surprises. Just like kids excited to open their Christmas presents or find artfully hidden Easter eggs. Or think of the person who binge watches the mystery series or can't put down the thriller till all the pages have been turned by 3 a.m. Many of us are driven by curiosity to find out what happens next. That's why sweepstakes and lotteries are so captivating to so many, and why many gamified apps present random or sudden rewards. People keep taking actions because they never know when their action is going to unlock a prize. The best podcasters are also great storytellers. So think about how you can pace the audience journey with hidden surprises, twists, or turns along the way. The easiest way to do this is simply to withhold part of a story until later in the podcast or the next episode with a listen on to find out what happens next. You can also plant breadcrumbs, or what I call Easter eggs, on an episode or social media to engage your audience in discovery over time. And then to the most important part, reward them randomly. Their curiosity piqued, they'll be all the more delighted when they unlock a prize, virtual or real, that they weren't expecting. Random prizes can be anything from shout-outs on your show to a Starbucks card, a sponsored product, or a free VIP coaching day. Think creatively about how you'll pace these random rewards and what your community will most value. Number 7, scarcity and impatience. We often want what we can't easily have, and when we don't get instant gratification, we want that elusive thing all the more. That's why many apps utilize prize pacing, last mile rewards, time limitations, leveling up or unlocking new levels of status or achievement. When an app or service says, "Come back in 2 hours to get your reward," it prompts a customer to pay attention, even think about it all day long. Think about how major media uses forward promotes to overcome the commercial break. You won't believe what happened to Nellie the elephant. That's coming up after the break, and first this. Even Facebook relied on this dynamic when it launched. At first, you could only use it if you attended Harvard. Then it opened up to a few other prestigious schools, and eventually all colleges. When it finally opened up to everyone, many people wanted to join because they previously couldn't get in it. Podopolo, for example, offers its podcast communities an array of quests, challenges, and contests that track progress towards an achievement or milestones over time. Think the 7-day detox or immunity boost challenge, or the 21-day random acts of kindness quest, where bonuses and rewards get more significant with progress towards completing the goal. Other contests have specific time limitations or tasks that must be completed to make it to the next level, in some cases being invited into an exclusive or desired group. Podcasters can also incentivize listening and social media engagement with invitations to watch out for a special code or a message on social media. And finally, number 8, avoidance and loss. We all want to avoid bad things or negative outcomes. We all fear loss, and many of us also experience FOMO. When progressing a project or engaging in an activity, we don't want to lose our investment in the time and effort we put into it. Quitting before we're done makes all that effort feel useless. So when we feel an opportunity may be disappearing, we tend to act fast in case we lose that opportunity forever. This is where you get to make an irresistible offer and show the cost of missing out. People long for inclusion, so dangle the opportunity to be included in a special insiders group. And make the rewards and recognition significant enough to make people jump through hoops to be included. It might be a special mastermind, virtual gathering, or a rotating guest spot on your podcast. Be creative. My own podcast, Wings of Inspired Business, offers a special VIP coaching day drawn out of people who've reviewed the podcast on Apple Podcasts. The winner also gets featured on my podcast, where they can reach 1 million people. And now on Podopolo, I'm hosting a Lift As You Climb challenge, because the mission of Wings is to encourage women entrepreneurs to promote each other, mentor each other, and buy from each other. So when they participate in this challenge, they can unlock access into my exclusive mastermind, and also discounts on products and discounts into our luxury retreats when they finally start up again.
Okay, so that's a lot to think about, right? And here's the thing, you don't have to do it all. It's best to focus on one of the 8 motivators to start. After all, we're talking about gamification, and it's important to leverage it from a place of creative play. Kind of defeats the whole spirit of gamification to come at it like a work slog. Every community is different, and different motivators work better for some than others. That's why it's really important to iterate and test. Try new things, have fun, look at the data, and then tweak.
So if you're not sure where to start, don't worry. We've built this so you don't have to sweat it and reinvent the wheel. Podopolo is the world's first socially interactive podcasting network to gamify audience engagement. Your community wins prizes and freebies as they engage with and share your podcast or your YouTube channel. as they put lessons learned into action, reaching trackable milestones to enhance their lives, and engage in mission-driven impact quests to change the world. When you download the Podopolo 1.0 app, yes, we're brand new and in beta soft launch, you'll discover that we use each of those 8 motivators in different ways and different places. You'll also see that different podcasters can customize their gamification features in different ways, as can advertisers and sponsors, to best serve and engage their own unique communities. So here is the home screen of Podopolo, and you can see action buttons on the top. This is where users can track their daily actions, whether listening and sharing a podcast or tracking a desired behavior. For instance, today, I meditated, I worked out, and I learned something new. Each time I track a behavior of my own, I'm winning points towards unlocking rewards, whether placement on the recognition wall as today's most engaged, or placement on a podium for winning a specific challenge, or discounts and sponsored products. You'll see a button there called COVID Action. You can track whether you volunteered, socially distanced, or like me last night, had a quarantini. Here's how it works. People listen and watch, and they follow and recommend podcasts. And as they do so, they're prompted to share their thoughts and earn rewards as they do. The AI-driven community recommendation engine at the back end helps podcasters get discovered and grow their communities. As people engage in conversation, interact with content via challenges, polls, contests, and quests, perhaps recommending a guest or a topic, contributing to a show, or joining a mission-driven or learning quest, they begin to unlock and accumulate rewards. This drives daily active engagement to new heights. On the app right now, daily active use is well above 15%, a number considered to be the very height of daily active user engagement on mobile apps as a whole. Podcasters also provide extra value by connecting people to each other and leverage the transformational benefit for people who start to see real growth in their lives, whether personal or business. And of course, users are rewarded in a multiplicity of creative ways. Perhaps they unlock bonus or exclusive content, become part of an inner circle, win a yoga mat, an Amazon card, a week of life coaching, or an opportunity to highlight their business, book, or cause on a popular podcast. The rewards can be sponsored by a podcaster or an advertiser, and for advertisers, it's great because they get to engage directly with an active community and put products directly into the hands of their target market.
So why is all of this important in the podcasting space? Well, I, for one, believe content is valuable, and it pains me to see so many podcasters with great content struggle to be found, let alone monetize their content. With Podopolo, I set out to solve what I see as podcasters' biggest challenges.
And it is this. 85% of podcasters don't make a dime from podcasting. So at Podopolo, we set out with a mission to monetize even the smallest audiences, and to do it with social gamification. Because audiences opt in to gamified daily action, contests, and quests, we learn much more about them than download data can provide. We know how long they listen, we know what they care about, and much more. And we're the first and only to share this audience intelligence with podcasters. This takes the guesswork out of advertising on podcasts, because until Podopolo, an advertiser or sponsor was looking for at least 10,000 downloads an episode. And that's something only 2% of podcasters achieve. We know that even the smallest audiences can be monetized if they're the right audiences. And via gamification, we can drive more ROI for advertisers and sponsors, matching them to the exact podcast communities they know will convert. And on top of all of that, we share 20% of our net advertising revenue with podcasters. Cool, right? Here's how all of that adds up for a podcaster. Number one, we know gamification drives higher engagement. Number 2, our AI-driven engagement tracking provides unrivaled deep audience intelligence from people who've opted in. Number 3, this deep demographic, psychographic, interest, and behavior data enables laser-targeted and interactive advertising and sponsorship on air and on the app. Number 4, precision targeting also means higher ad rates. And all of this is how podcasters can finally profit from podcasting, especially when they can also sell in-app bonus content and their own products and services. Here's a quick look at the type of audience data we have, and here's what we've learned so far. Social gamification enables an average 18.7% consumer-to-brand engagement rate. Compare that to 1.2% on Facebook and 4.2% on Instagram. We also see that interactive podcasts are driving on average 3 times the engagement, and advertisers and sponsors are excited by the ability to engage interactively with pre-qualified, influential customers. And it's good for listeners and viewers too, as they win on a daily basis in a way not possible on any other podcasting app or platform. There are many ways they can unlock these rewards. First, interacting with content. We want to help podcasters by incentivizing the viral growth of their communities and their influence. So we reward all the actions that are valuable to podcasters. Sharing, recommending, commenting, participating in various interactive opportunities to engage in content creation. We also help users put learning into action for real transformation in their lives. Every podcaster has something they're teaching, a transformation they want to encourage. And on Podopolo, each podcaster has their own branded channel within the app, so they can customize these challenges and quests and contests so their viewers and listeners can level up. Many podcasters also sell information products, training courses, and masterminds. They can use the Podopolo paywall to host gamified versions of these courses. And when they do, they enable significantly higher completion rates. Accomplishment. Remember, motivator number 2? It's a powerful incentive, especially when you also get social recognition from the wider community for your achievement. Most online courses have abysmal completion rates. On Podopolo, we're seeing completion rates as high as 90% in the private paywall area. And finally, remember motivator number 1, meaning and calling? Here are some of the ways we're rewarding our growing community of listeners and viewers on Podopolo. Random acts of kindness, volunteering, and giving around a cause a podcaster supports. Or community-wide goals to do our part to stop the spread of coronavirus, help businesses in need, and address some of the world's most pressing challenges, whether climate change or poverty. So I'm inviting you to play with us at Podopolo, whether you're a podcaster, a podcast fan, or an advertiser. There's something for you here, and I'd love to help you with all things gamification. First, you can grab my gamification ebook in the virtual swag bag. Please also download the Podopolo app. We're in soft launch right now, and we'd love you to hop in, play around, take some challenges, and interact with our podcasters. And if you're a podcaster or an advertiser, we'd love to have you. Go to podopolo.com for more information, sign up for a demo, and book a call with our team.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Melinda Wittstock, founder of Podopolo, and I'm so excited to get to know you.
And here are all the places you can find me. Wishing you a great day, and my thanks and gratitude for Voice Global.